Are we turning into Venezuela? This is Linda from Let's Talk Prepping, and let's look a little bit about Venezuela and see what's happening there. This is from BBC News, a total mess. Venezuelans see little hope of improvement. Now, this was in 2020, but they were running out of fuel, and this is a country that has lots of oil. They have a fuel shortage for some reason, and fuel is very cheap there. They brought their cars to fill up and to keep each other company. It's not uncommon to have to stay several nights in line to get that precious tank of petrol. I have no life. They are 5 hours in line into their wait, and this is a good day. He says he's spending his retirement sitting in queues. And then they have black market fuel because it's so hard to get it. And you can see where he's siphoning fuel here. So that's one problem. The other is from BBC News again. UN to provide food to Venezuela children amid crisis. So they're providing food. And here's some facts about their crisis. 6 million, more than 6 million Venezuelans have left the country seeking food, work, and a better life since 2014. And this is the worlddivision.org, and it's 2021. Venezuela continues to be a hot spot for food insecurity. And the WFP plans to feed 1.5 million children in schools by the end of 2022-2023. Because Venezuela's health system has collapsed, diseases such as measles, diphtheria, and malaria, which were once eradicated, are now spreading and even spilling over national boundaries as Venezuelans migrate. They have the largest proven oil reserves in the world. And listen to this now. The monthly inflation rate has remained above 2,000%. Now that's monthly, not yearly, which would be bad enough, but this is monthly, above 2,000%. And the annual inflation rate in 2021 they expect to more than double. So that's Venezuela. Well, what about us? Well, let's go over here to the Daily Mail. Gas stations in Washington reprogram pumps to prepare for $10 a gallon fuel. As inflation sends average price soaring to $4.57 a gallon, twice the $2.41 during Trump's final month. So a national gas station chain is reprogramming its pumps in Washington state to accommodate the possibility of $10 a gallon gasoline. If you don't think this is going to lead us to Venezuela, I don't know what to tell you. Other stations in the state have begun running out of gas, with a local Facebook group identifying 10 stations that have run out of fuel. Now, I haven't seen any around here running out of fuel yet. And meanwhile, some states, such as California, are reporting spiraling prices of up to $5.98 this week. So he goes through and he talks about how they are changing the signs so that they can put $10, well, double-digit gasoline, basically. And if we go down here, we can see the gas prices, and the price of crude oil is $114.20 a barrel. And this is dated May 18th, which would have been yesterday. And if you go down here, you can see in April 27th, 2020, it was $1.77 a gallon for gasoline. I mean, can you even remember that? And now, May 18th, 2022, it's $4.57. That's about a 150% increase. 150% increase in 2 years. And the problem is that as gas goes up, diesel's going up, and diesel's always more expensive than gas, and diesel runs our economy. And AAA is reporting an average of the average above $5 a gallon in California, Washington, Nevada, Hawaii, with Oregon not far behind. And then if you go down here, here's some inflation from April 2021 to April 2022. Bacon up 17.7%, beef up, cereal 12.1%, eggs 22.6%, chicken 16.4%, milk 14.7%. Just some of the increases in a year. And you know it's going to get worse with the droughts out west and the lack of wheat coming in, all the birds being culled because of bird flu and the meat shortages. Everything's going to get worse. And over here again, we see gas stations in Washington reprogramming pumps to prepare for $10 a gallon fuel. And this is the New York Times Post. And going back to Venezuela, according to economists interviewed by the New York Times, the situation is by far the worst economic crisis in Venezuela's history. And it's the worst facing a country in peacetime since the mid 20th century. It's considered to be more severe than that of the United States during the Great Depression, more severe than the Brazilian economic crisis, and more severe than the hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. So just think about that for a minute, that Venezuela has been in this crisis since maybe 2014 or so, and they're still in it. And if we go over here, Venezuela's food crisis reaches a breaking point. And here we have Venezuela inflation rates. It says it's decreased to 222.3% in April from 284.4% in March of 2022. And that's just a monthly increase, not a yearly increase. So that's your inflation, food inflation in Venezuela. They have a lack of food. And the same with us. We're having problems. If we go over here to All News Pipeline, food is the weapon of choice for the Biden regime. So prepping is no longer for emergencies or doomsday, but critically necessary to stop from starving to death. Please, please, please take that to heart. Food is the weapon of choice for the Biden regime. So prepping is no longer for emergencies or doomsday, but critically necessary to stop from starving to death. We all know the baby formula, the lack of baby formula in the US, and you can bet we're going to have more supply chain problems. We're going to have food riots, food shortages. We're well on our way to Venezuela. So please start prepping if you haven't prepped. And thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, always let us know. If you know what you should be doing, if you have any ideas of how to help people, how to help us prep, how to what we should be doing, let us know in the comments. And please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.